Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is Richard Pickett and Shell Shapiro, Digital Brand Alchemy. I got to get out of this. I just feel like every one of them is like I'm just rushing to the last minute. I feel like I have enough time. And then at the last minute, I feel like I don't have enough time. And so I feel kind of rushed. I hope you don't feel rushed, Shell.
I don't feel rushed today. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, so it's all totally me. See,
I'll
we have a
slow the
couple
pace down
people.
for you. Don't worry.
Okay. I see we have a couple people already. Hello, folks. If you are in the group, the Facebook group, and you want to leave a comment, you may need to put your name, or if you haven't already accepted the StreamYard app thing, there's a link that's in the video description. So, all right. Today's show. What do you have on your mind? I know I sent out a couple of subjects for us to chat on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to anything that people want to talk about, but primarily let's get right to it and talk about some productivity.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll segue for you into that. So I've been going through the getting things done, and I actually have some cheat sheet notes. And I love little like diagrams like this that say, that have a specific like order or sequence of doing things so that you're very, very efficient. So I've been going through the book and I've been going through this. So take it away. What's on your mind about staying focused and getting things done?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like recently, um, I've always been really good at getting things done and just putting things in order for other people. But now that I'm a solopreneur working from home and kind of making my own schedule, I'm finding that it's harder to keep my own schedule than it is to keep other people's schedules. And so lately, what I've been going and doing is figuring out a better productivity system for myself, because I can teach everybody else until like the cows come home. But if I'm not doing that for myself, then that is part of what gives me imposter syndrome, because I feel like I'm a little bit of a cheat if I'm not doing those same things well for myself. Um, and so even this week, I went through a process where I just started getting better at learning Asana, specifically, and setting up better workflows for myself, setting myself up with different like the Pomodoro method so that I can work on timing, setting I tried setting egg timers so that I like relegated myself to a specific amount of time to do something. Um, I'm really open to trying different techniques so that I can see what's working best for me when I'm making my own schedule at home. Now, I know everybody works differently, and that might not apply to some people. Some people might work better with a more laid back kind of flow, and still be able to get things done. But I'm trying all different things to see what works best for me so that I know different options to help other people tweak their own work schedules.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's very important to be a teacher, but also a practitioner, like the student and the teacher of whatever craft that we're doing. I've certainly found that in branding. It's easy like to read a lot of books and then think you know something and go tell people what to do.
Yeah.
But then when you try to do those things in your own business, and then you realize, wait, there's a lot more to it than the technique that I thought that I already had in mind. So that's really cool.
Right. Do you find that you work one way better than another? Like what works for you specifically?
Um, like give me a couple different ways that you mean. For example.
Like when do you feel most productive during the day? Do you get more done in the morning? I noticed that you tend to go live more in the afternoon or early evening. So do you get more things done in the evening? Like when are you most productive, and what does that look like for you when you are your most productive?
I gotcha. So, boy, this is really good. So for those of you that are watching, Shell is probably going to begin to help me be better organized, and you're going to watch it live.
It's
So
happening in real time.
yeah, uh, welcome to our counseling session. Um, so for me, I feel like my creativity is definitely in the morning. So I'll wake up and it feels like that's when I have a burst of a million ideas and I got a lot of motivation to go get stuff done. Um, but typically, as a developer, which I've written code, oh my God, for way too many years that would give away my age, which I need to get over. But I've written, like, as a developer, it just becomes easier to write at night because you're not interrupted. And it's almost like the daytime is for like mental design, like thinking
Okay.
through things. And then at night, it's like, okay, this is the thing I want to go get done. And I can just focus and get code done. But it doesn't take a lot of like physical energy to do that. What I've found, like for shooting videos, that totally doesn't work because like I really feel like when we're on these lives, I've got to bring the emotion. You got to, like, you just have to be fully present and have your energy ready to go. I can't do that at midnight. I can code from midnight to 3 a.m. easily, but I can't do certain productivity things really late at night. So I've wanted to actually shift, and I'm looking into this thing called 5 a.m. Club. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I haven't,
Okay. Basically,
but
you
I'm up
get,
at 5 a.m., so definitely tell me all about it.
yep. So I can even pull up one of the documents. He kind of lays out the day. Um, and it's basically you get up at 5 a.m., but he's got a number of other things that are involved in being organized through your day. I don't know how many of those other things are going to do, but I definitely want to shift to going to bed earlier, getting up at 5 and getting things not going live because like who's going to be up in the US at 5 a.m. But doing my business things before the day really kicks off so
Right.
that when the day, so to speak, starts, I feel like I already got everything I needed done. So that's I am trying to make this shift. So you get up at 5 a.m. already, so you're a morning person.
It's a little bit complicated for me. So I just naturally wake up at like 5 a.m. Am I ready to go, rolling out of bed, like with all engines full steam ahead? No, like I always just want to go back to sleep and get more sleep. But even in those moments, like once I'm awake, once I do get out of bed, that's when my brain is full capacity. Like that's when I'm gonna get my most important tasks done and feel my most productive, and check off all those to-dos that are really, really critical to me. Like that's when I want to send emails. I might not, I might pause them and send them later, but I'll at least get them out of my brain. Um, that's when I want to work out so that it keeps my energy up and like my endorphins going. Um, that's just when I have the most like concentration. And I feel like as soon as probably noon or even 1 o'clock hits, that's when I start to feel that slump. And I think a lot of other people feel that as well, where they have that like afternoon slump and they need a burst of energy. And so I try to like take a break then and I get up and I stretch and maybe I even from home will take a nap, but I never really regain full momentum after that afternoon slump, after that break. So I do focus better in the morning. Um, that's not to say that I'm a night person either, because if I want to sleep in the morning, I don't like staying up late, but I also have trouble falling asleep. So I get like, I'll fall asleep or I'll be ready to go to sleep, but then as soon as I'm actually like laying in bed, my brain is back on again and I can't do stuff while I'm laying in bed. Like I can work on from my computer a little bit, but I'm still not full capacity, but my brain is awake then. So it's really like trying to figure out how best to get things done when my brain is awake in the middle.
Hey, Shell, you are breaking up. I'm hoping it's not on my side. You glitched for just a second. Oh, now
Yeah.
you're back.
Oh, I don't know where that went because Everything
Okay.
else was working fine. Um, yeah, so I do get my most important things done early in the morning. And then it tapers off in the afternoon, but I try to like give myself something to pick myself back up. Especially because that's in the afternoon, that's when other people want to jump in and have calls, and really give myself like have my time. So it's important in that respect too to be present for other people when it might not be my most optimum time.
Gotcha. So we got just real quickly. I cheated. I went to the group and I see that this is Catherine Bingham. Hello. Again, for those that are in the Facebook group, the way the streaming works, Facebook doesn't show us the user. Like, for example, here you can see that I made this comment. So when it comes up, it actually has my picture and says it's Richard Pickett. Excuse me. But for others, there's a link that's in the description of this live stream. And at the very bottom, you could just click that link. If you accept their app, which is the StreamYard app, then it knows who you are and it would tell us who you are. Otherwise, I have to go look in the Facebook group. So, hello, Catherine. Thanks for joining in. Be sure if you have any questions, because like we were just talking a little bit about productivity, we're probably going to be, I feel like, all over the board today, because
It's
Shell and
okay,
I,
bring us in. Yeah.
yeah, Shell and I haven't chatted in a while. Well, we talked, like, I think it was last Tuesday, but about these kinds of things. We may get into some of that conversation that we had where we were taking a look at her sales funnel, and this is something that I'm helping her build out and develop. So there's a lot of practical use that you guys will get out of that. But we really want to just let your questions, your needs, the things that you guys are thinking of and needing to do in your business be the thing that helps drive our show. So if you have any questions, please fire away. Productivity. So yeah, you talked about the slump. Have you tied this to and this is really going to go out there. Have you tied any of this to your diet? So, sometimes when we have a high carb lunch, then we have a high carb slump. And I really think like the low carb diet actually helps you maintain your focus. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
I really have been not eating. I mean, I can't say I never do it because I definitely had pasta for lunch today. Um, but lately my lunches have been salads. Usually there'll be protein in there too, or beans. As I know that's a carb, but also protein. Um, and I'm still experiencing a slump. So it's something that like is an ever going thing for me, figuring out what my diet looks like and my overall sleep. Have I gotten enough sleep? Is it restful sleep? Especially when my brain's going so much, I don't necessarily wake up feeling rested. And so I know that all plays a factor. Um, but all of this boils down to how much self-care I give myself, which is a big thing that I talk about a lot because I can't be as productive as I want to be if I'm not also taking care of myself. And so I think getting the diet thing under control and figuring out what foods I need to eat to not have that slump as much, definitely plays a factor and is something that I'm working on.
Awesome. Abdul just said join. I don't know if
I assume that means that he used the app link
yes,
so that you can
yes.
see his face.
Yep, so we can see him, which means I'm guessing he doesn't mean he's trying to get the thing to play, because he may not have heard me say that if he wasn't playing the video. So my guess, maybe Abdul, if you're wanting to come on live with us and you have a webcam, and decent enough internet that you won't be broken up, the link, this is something I didn't say at the beginning, the link is down at the bottom. You go to https://rpurls.com/live-guest. You will pop up and I will see you. Shell, by the way, in your I guess I'll call it studio, the where you're joined, do you see our images down at the bottom? I've never seen what it looks like as a guest.
On my end right now, like I see us as a split screen, and then I'm down on the bottom really
Okay.
little as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, and
Hi. Thanks for joining.
yes, I'm gonna
Ariadne?
attempt
Is that how
Ariadne. Yeah, I think it's probably that's how I would hopefully not
I
butcher
wasn't
it.
definitely pronouncing your name correctly. I'm really bad with names. Sorry.
Now she's in Spain. So in Spain, it is. I'm trying to think if they're further east or west. They are further to the east. So in Spain, it's probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night, if I had to guess.
Wow, that's past my bedtime. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Thanks for staying up late with us.
that's the thing too. I've got to work on is going to bed early because if I'm going to be getting up at 5, I got to go to bed a lot earlier.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise you take a nap in the middle of the day. That way you can have another, hopefully, burst of energy after that. But
By the way, your slump that you mentioned, like of having a peak in the morning and then like hitting a mid-afternoon slump and recovering some but not getting back, I think that's actually a very common pattern.
I
Um,
I would agree with that. Since I've been working from home the past 6 to 8 months, it's something that I've been more aware of because when I was in an office setting, still having to do all the things all the time for everybody, I would feel the slump, but I would have to push through it because there was no other alternative. So I think now I'm just more aware of it because I have that capacity to take a nap if I wanted to. I have that downtime or like not really downtime because I have things I need to do, but I'm by myself. There's no one else to be like, hey, you need to keep pushing through. Um, and I don't drink coffee and I hardly ever drink tea. So it's not like I'm having that caffeine in the afternoon. Maybe I'm just adding some sugar to like give myself that extra pep and kick. But I think probably I drank a lot more tea when I was in an office setting just to like keep myself going more. Also, that meant more bathroom breaks, but that's a whole other, topic.
yeah. So Ariadne, please tell us if we're butchering your name or if we're getting it halfway right. Said, yeah, it's 10:18 there. So you are 7 hours ahead of me. You're 6 hours ahead of Shells. I'm Central, U.S. Central. Shells in New York, the big city. So
Today I'm coming to you from New Jersey.
oh,
So that's why the setup's a little different than my usual.
you crossed over. Yeah. So Catherine, we saw your comment before, but now we can see your
We just
name
didn't know it was you
and
before, or I didn't.
yeah. Now we can see your name and your beautiful picture. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Catherine.
Yep. Also, Abdul said, I'm guessing this may be, I don't think he means snooker like the pool table kind of snooker. I'm guessing this is something else. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's an Indian word. But
Thanks for being here either way. So
yep. Hello back.
yeah, do you guys have any questions about how to be more productive? Do you want to tell us what your day-to-day looks like? Is there anything that you're struggling with in terms of trying to work better? Let us know in the comments. Otherwise, we can jump into something else. We could keep talking about this. I'm open right now.
Yeah, we may need an episode that's just going to be diet focused because another thing I would love to go keto all the time. I find it hard. My wife is Chinese. She used to be a sushi chef. She's really good. She cooks really delicious food. And if you can't tell, I love to eat. So it's really hard to pass up something that she makes that's got carbs. So it's really hard for me to do that. But I have for a while tried to cut out or at least cut back on sugar. And I can tell when I'm off of sugar. So, and for those of you also that are watching, like this is why I say we may need a whole other show on this topic. I'm actually going through a fast right now. I started last night, and I plan to go 6 or 7 days. Today I was a little low. I've got some energy. I'm drinking. If you guys are curious, I can show you how I have to make tea, or I don't have to make tea this way, but how I make tea. But I'm drinking a little tea now to give me a little bit of energy to get through
Okay.
today's
That's why you're
session.
restraining it even. Okay, now I get it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we had only talked about the water the other day. We didn't talk about what
Oh, yeah.
any other like tea or fluids you were able to drink. So
Yep. So 40 ounces. I'm trying to do 2 of these a day at a minimum. Usually, during when I'm not fasting, one of these during I can do 2 a day easy, but usually I'll get at least 1 in. So that's my water regimen.
yeah, that's another thing that I think I was drinking a lot more water while I was in an office setting, just to force myself to stay hydrated. Um, n Now I definitely more consistently drink water, but I'm not keeping track of it as much. So I know I'm probably drinking the same amount, if not more, but I'm just not like monitoring it. Like, have I had water? Do I need to take a water break? So I honestly I don't know how much of water I've been drinking lately, but I'm pretty sure it's about the same because the rest of my diet has not changed. Well, that's not, let me back up there. I'm still eating the same as I've been eating since I have not been in that office setting. It has definitely improved since I've left because I'm eating in a more healthy way. So the contents of what I'm eating are the same, but I'm not like stuffing my face and eating in like less than 15 seconds so that I'm stuffed and then uncomfortable and bloated. And then that was why I was getting a slump probably in the office setting. Now I just have time to just slow down and eat until I feel content, not even to the point of being full, because that I don't want to feel stuffed. That's like a point of no return then. And I also don't want to keep stuffing my face if it's really good. And I used to take medication to help me regulate that. But I don't like medications, so I don't want to be on it. I don't want to have any of that weight management stuff. So now I've gotten it to a healthier place where I'm trying to be able to manage it on my own, and so far so good. But that's something that also keeps me like focused and productive because I know that if I let it slide, then it might get out of control, and so I need to keep a handle on it.
Awesome. Catherine also came back.
Another person.
Yeah. Most productive early in the day. It was a lot easier when she was on the West Coast. Um, Let me think that through. So when you're on the West Coast and if you get up early, then you're getting up maybe right in time with most people on the East Coast. But now when she's on the East Coast and connecting with people on Pacific,
They're 3 hours behind, so they're not awake yet.
yeah, but I don't know. I would think that would work to your advantage. So if let's say then I'm on the East Coast and I get up at 7, I've got 3 hours, until like 10 a.m. before my West Coast counterparts are going to like be getting at it. Or if
Yeah,
if
but
if we're
if I'm my most productive at 7 a.m. and they're still asleep and I need an answer right then at 7 a.m. or 9 a.m., whatever a normal hour is for most people, then you have to wait until the West Coast wakes up in order to do that. So yeah, it's more productive because you're not going to be bothered as much, but
that's because I view productivity different than you. For me, my most productive is when I work alone.
when nobody's bothering you. Yeah.
Yes. So that that's it. Like if it's team productivity, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then everybody figuring out what their optimal times are and trying to find a really good overlap would probably be good. I can get that. Oh,
Yeah, I
hey,
know, and I get it from your perspective as well, because when I say that I'm the most productive, uh, ooh, Ariadne, let me get to that in a second. When I feel like I'm my most productive, um, I'm talking about things that for myself or for my business that I don't need to involve other people in. That's when I get my like things that are done for me. And later in the day is when I get things done for other people because that's more optimal time for them. But it totally depends on whether or not you're most productive or you view your most productive as a self thing or as a team thing, or
yep.
who you're expecting to hear from.
So you're kind of pixelating again. So people that are watching, could you tell me if either one of us seem to like be like not
Really?
high quality video,
They
like
seem,
pixelating?
they both seem super crisp to me right now.
Well, your camera, you will seem crisp to you because you're
Yeah.
seeing from directly from your camera.
Yeah.
But maybe my download is messed up, and that's why you look fuzzy to me. Um,
Yeah. Let us know if either one of us are fuzzy at any point, guys, or if our sound goes off. I know we've worked through that in the past.
oh my goodness! Sometimes Google Chrome decides it doesn't want to use audio anymore, and I have to kill off Chrome, start all over again. By the way, I'm pouring tea right now.
Okay, so while you're doing that,
Yes.
Ariadne, you're asking about when I decided to have my own business, and I go direct to Facebook or just with my website. Um, the first kind, I'm not entirely sure what you're asking, but I'll try to cover all bases just in case. So I started my own business 6 months ago, Shell Station, and really the only time that I ever go live is on Facebook or on LinkedIn, usually right here with Richard. Uh, and my first client contacts, I mean, I am connected with people all over the place. So it's hard to say when my first client contact or where it was and on what platform, but I connect with people here on Facebook. I connect with people on my website, which is getshelled.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very active and talking to people all the time. I'm on Instagram, Shell Station. So I I don't know if that's what you're asking, but have contact with people on every platform, pretty much except for Pinterest and Twitter. Twitter I'm trying to use more because I see some of my audience members are more active there. And it's not really a platform for me except when I'm trying to get free things. But I'm trying to be there more. And Pinterest I'm trying to get into from a blogging perspective, but I haven't had much motivation to do that yet. And that's probably something that I will hire out at some point to not have that on my plate. So let me know if that answered any or all of your questions. I think I covered all the bases.
Yep. So maybe if I could read in a little bit and add on to what you've said.
Yeah,
Sometimes people ask these kinds of questions because they want to know where can I find my clients.
sure.
So I think it's important to realize there's a difference between marketing and sales, and you need a combination of both. Marketing is much more passive. It's like I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to make a bunch of videos. I'm going to put out content. I'm going to show people what I'm about. But sales is more, you either are like outbound sales where you're going out to connect with people, or inbound where you're running ads, for example, and you're bringing people into your system, and you're having to like answer their questions or pitch them or whatever that particular sales function is.
Yeah,
So I like, this is one of the areas that I specialize in because I believe in both. I love marketing because it's very passive and I'm an introvert. So I love the aspect of doing something and not having to like chase people down. But at the same time, I firmly believe if you're going to get clients, there's a sales aspect that you have to have. And this is like, I'm releasing a case study this week it's all about sales. Keith Brise, as some of you guys saw earlier, we got 177 people into his business out of 2,500 that we targeted. From that, by the way, he's gotten a deal. It's somewhere between 5 and 15% ownership, which is amazing. And it's based off of his performance. He's an SEO guy.
yeah.
So I will be breaking that down. And this is
I
the
need to
sort of thing.
outsource to him as well. I need help with
Yeah.
my SEO later on down the line.
Yeah. So I will be breaking that process down, and that's very much a sales thing. But even when I'm teaching that sales stuff, I still believe in the marketing. You still have to have presence.
Yeah, and to follow up on that even further, and I think this will also help clarify a little bit for Ariadne's question. Oh, awesome, I did. But I'm still gonna piggyback on that a
Yeah.
little bit. I as far as like my ideal market, honestly, my target audience which is young women who are graduating from college, who have just graduated or who are in a new position in their careers, like just getting started or looking to pivot. This is who I have found is my main audience. That's not to say that other people don't fall into um, what it is that I do and can help people with, but that's where my focus has been. And I have found that while I have a growing following on Instagram, I'm making much more of an impact and having greater connections with people on LinkedIn. And I think that's just also that's the nature of LinkedIn, to connect with people and have deeper conversations in a less social um, influencer kind of way, but more of like an exchange of I can help you with this, can you help me with that, and people being open to collaborate. And so I have made better connections with people on LinkedIn, and I can help show you how to do that better. Richard has shown me how to do that better, so by proxy, we can both bring these things to all of you guys. Um, and beyond that, there's definitely some female platforms that I'm on that are not necessarily just social media. One of them is a Slack channel called Ladies Get Paid, which is amazing for women who just want to be able to ask things in an open forum in all different kinds of collectives, about collaborations, about community service, about how to ask for a salary raise, like conversations that women don't necessarily know how to have. There's so many different communities within Ladies Get Paid. There's local communities for New York City, where I'm based. They have them for Dallas, for Memphis, for LA, like pretty much for every major city. Or you can create your own if there's not one there already, and people will certainly join. The other female platform that I get really great engagement on and have found a lot of my ideal clients is on Girl Boss. And I believe they are going to be starting their Slack channel. Right now, it's just an online forum where it's similar to like a community, and you can join different groups and reach out to certain types of people with offers, with asks, with different collaborations and needs. And so more so than LinkedIn and Instagram, I have found that this is where I have my most active following, because people want to take action and they want answers right away. So they're looking for and that immediate person to connect with to answer their problem right then and there. And people have been helping me. I've been helping them. It's been a great exchange, even more powerful, I think, than LinkedIn right now for me.
Which
So
platform? Say again.
Girl Boss
Okay.
and yeah, and Ladies Get Paid. Yeah.
Yep. So that knocks me out. I was going to say, hey, sounds great. Can I join? But
The I have not found um, a male female platform that has gotten me that as much engagement beyond LinkedIn. And so for me, like where I can connect with all different kinds of people that are even outside of my audience, LinkedIn is still the number one place for me to be. And so those are my top three really. And of course, because everybody's on Instagram and Facebook, by default, that I have to be on those too, because I wanna be seen and I want to be able to connect with people there as well. If they're especially if they're not on LinkedIn yet and need to grow that. Um, so it's been a challenge figuring it out, but I like where things are headed, and I'm open to other people showing me different things that are out there as well. So hope that answers even further what your previous questions were, Ariane, and hopefully that gives other people some insight as well as to like all the different things that are possible.
cool. Also, I think we've narrowed this down. You pixelate some, according to Catherine, and also once in a while your audio drops out. So I think outside of the show, we'll look
Yeah.
at your internet setup. So I used to just go off of Wi-Fi 100%, and I think it was okay, but every once in a while it wouldn't be. So now I actually I upgraded my internet to twice the upload speed of what I would need because they recommended, like, if you never want to have any problems. And then the other thing is, I actually bought 100-foot Cat 5 cable, so network cable, and it's like drug all through the house from my
Yeah.
studio room all the way to where the cable comes in.
Okay.
By the way, that also acts as a on-air sign, because the rest of the family knows when they see the cable out, like, try to keep everything down to a low roar. So
I mean, unless your daughter wants to roll out the harp right now, and then we could have background music. So.
yeah, so actually I told her that I was going to go live, so she's not practicing right now.
Oh, okay. We've had that in the past, and I love it. So
maybe I should tell her it doesn't matter.
For you guys who haven't heard the harp in the background, it sounds really beautiful, and I do not mind having that as background noise.
You know what? I'll tell her that you guys want. I'll just send her a real quick text. Our house is so big, I have to text people. I'm just kidding. I'll send her a real quick text.
That's not a bad thing. That's amazing. Kudos to you. How can I get to that level?
Our house is not that big. I just don't want to leave the live here.
And I apologize for the in and out connection, you guys. Like I said, I'm coming from a different location today, and still wanted to be able to share this live with you. So I don't have a direct connection right now. I am on Wi-Fi, and I have no control over that. So while the connection looks strong on my end, I don't know what Verizon does.
Alrighty. So also, Catherine said that she was an executive coach.
Yeah, totally get that.
And so now that makes total sense. So this would be like you're entering your slump and they're hitting their prime, and it's like they come with a lot of energy and they're expecting the coach to meet or exceed them, and it's hard to do that. So totally get that.
That's like me, even on East Coast time when I'm hitting my 2-3 o'clock slump, or like trying to get back into it, and that's when everybody wants to have their calls in the afternoon.
Hey, by the way, Shell, you can also see comments. I didn't know. I was just checking the settings. You can also see the comments as they come in.
I see the ones that are popping up on the screen right now.
Over to the right, where you see our video on the right side, you should see there may be like a button where it says, like, I see comments, banners, brand, private chat. You should see at least comments and private chat.
Live comments now. Got it.
Yeah.
Before I only saw the private chat, but now I have switched over.
Yeah, cool. So if you see some, I've covered them all so far, but if you see some and you want to help throw them up,
they've all popped up. There might be a delay there because Catherine's. Oh, okay.
I just went back and grabbed that one about her being executive coach.
Got it. So that was a few minutes ago.
Oh goodness!
Please don't choke. I can't do CPR or any life-saving measures from New Jersey to Tennessee. Oh wow! I mean, maybe we should talk about that real quick too. I don't think we've ever mentioned this in one of our things, but in April, one of our lives will be a joint one together, because I will be in Nashville at the end of April, and so we're gonna meet up. It'll be on a Sunday though instead of Saturday, so that it works out in our favor a little bit better. But I'm excited to do it together.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. I'm trying to figure out if I want to have that here in my house.
Yeah.
Because like it's just, I think about the dimensions and limited space, or if we could rent like a library, or you don't even have to rent. I could just reserve like a library room if they've got good enough Wi-Fi. The Brentwood Library, by the way, is like phenomenal.
We could probably also just use the Airbnb, because everyone else will have left.
Okay. We'll think about what kind of internet do they have? So we'll have to figure that out. So that's one thing. Like here, I know I've got a controlled environment. Anyway,
details for later.
Yes. All right. So we're caught up on comments. We've covered some productivity. Do you want to go through some of the other things, or
what's up?
Would you like to go through some of the other things, or do you have something else?
Does anybody else have any questions about productivity or like where you can connect with your ideal audience? Any issues with connecting with your ideal audience that you need our help with?
Yeah, so actually,
Yeah.
getting more leads into your business, improving your conversion rates, those were the top two. The next one is building a system that creates leads, which takes a little bit more time.
Yeah.
First to like talk through, but we could definitely like review yours, given we have enough time. But definitely like getting the leads and improving those conversions were some of the topics. So you just brought them up. We can go right
Yeah,
into them.
we can go right into that. Um, I'm that's definitely something that I am struggling a little bit with because I hate being salesy. And I do come from more of like a creative, I don't want to say marketing background because I'm a designer, but with more branding knowledge than other things. And so I don't know how to sell myself. I don't know how to, I'm really great at selling something that somebody needs when it's a product. Because I come from a signage background, and that was my previous job. And so customer service, I'm really great at, and I can give people what they need. But for some reason, when it's my own service, I just don't feel as comfortable closing that deal. And so verbally and also in writing, I'm not sure how to um, put into words to get people to that next step. Like I'm great at warming them up and getting them to be like, this is what I need. Oh my God, like you're speaking my language. Yes, I've been there. I feel that. I'm going through it right now. Like I'm gonna reach out to you. We're gonna do this. And then like I could still reach out two, three more times. And then after that initial excitement, where did they go? Like they got all excited, but then they drop off. So was it fake excitement? No, because like they had that powerful reaction and now like I heard it. Like I saw it in their eyes if we were connected live in a call or in person at an event. And so you can't like fake that authenticity. I mean you can a little bit, but like what I saw from them was authentic. And I'd like to think that I'm a decent judge of that. But then taking them to the next level and getting them to commit to something, or even maybe it's the pricing, maybe they just want me to keep giving free value, and so I'm more than happy to give people the free things and share my knowledge, and I will do that exponentially because if I find something helpful, I want other people to know it. But at some point, this also takes my time. And so these are things that I have learned over time. And so that's valuable. And so I don't know how to convey to people or convince them that it's worth it to spend more time with me and make money off of it. And so that's where I'm struggling a little bit. Long story short, sorry that was very long-winded.
That's good. I'm gonna start like really rudimentary with this, because I'm going somewhere with it. So, do you use any kind of CRM?
Currently, no, because I am very small and I know that other people have told me this, that like I need to start using it when I'm small so that I can scale easier later on, as opposed to, oh, I'll use it when I need it. And then it's already too late. Um, it's just a matter of which one do I use? There's so many platforms. So
Yeah,
no.
and pricing. So options and pricing, I think, are obviously going to be the two biggest things.
Yeah.
So a little bit of my experience, maybe some advice there. I have settled on NetHunt CRM, and here's the thing with all of them. I could tell you like Pipedrive, I think is, or yeah, I think that's what it's called. Pipedrive is another good one. A lot of people use HubSpot.
Yeah.
With all of them, there will be pluses and minuses. So I can tell you some of the negatives that I have with NetHunt, but some of the things that I really wanted out of it are the reason why I'm using it. One thing, it's expensive. I think it's 30 a month. And I think actually for the LinkedIn integration, it's more than 30 a month. It's like 36 a month or something like that, 35 a month.
Okay. I mean, that's
Um,
not a huge difference from 30 to 36, but
but things like Pipedrive, I think Pipedrive was $12 a month. But Pipedrive didn't do LinkedIn audit, LinkedIn integration, and then you had to get another piece, a third party app that had another monthly. I don't think it was that expensive. So, like the cheaper route, or the less expensive, I should say, cheaper tends to mean low quality. But the less expensive route may have been Pipedrive. But the integration of NetHunt into LinkedIn was really key to me, and it connects directly into Gmail. All of that's native, so it's tracking every email that I get. I can in NetHunt I can create a person, a contact, and then say, here's their email address, here's their LinkedIn, and then all the interactions that go on those two platforms are all consolidated into this one report. And then the two other things that I like about it are you can create multiple flows. By the way, you can use the free version, I think, for 14 days. And in the 14 days, I had all of this stuff working. So that's what convinced me. Okay. But you can create flows like you're familiar, since you're using Asana, you're familiar with Kanban, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Kanban is basically just means like columns of like the job started here, and you use your, like, let's call it backlog. This is the work you're going to do. And then you pull something into process that you're working on. When you're done and you're waiting for someone to verify it, you move it to the next one, or whatever. So your workflow with sales would be like, here's a prospect that's someone I want to connect with, but I haven't even reached out to them yet. So it could be like a LinkedIn profile, someone that you saw online. It's like, that's my ideal customer right there. I can easily just create an entry in NetHunt. Actually, I can, like with LinkedIn, I can go to their profile, click the NetHunt button. It automatically puts them in, and then it gives me a short view of the NetHunt details, the CRM details for that person, and I can select which funnel I want them in, and select that I want them to be like a prospect, or like to reach out to them or whatever. So that puts people into that first column, and then I just work them across. As I reach out to them, I'll fit them into, like, can we get on the phone together? Of course, don't that doesn't mean that I just connect with someone and say, hey, let's get on the phone. I totally don't do that. Yeah. So, but I do those warm up things. I have a follow up so that after I've already connected with them and it seems like we're clicking, I will put them in a follow up category, and then I can flag them. I can flag the calendar to remind me, like in 7 days or 2 weeks or whatever. So then I come back and just touch base with them again. Hey, how are things going? Like whatever. Then eventually it's the phone call. Then it's a fit, a not fit, or follow up with them again, which is another category. Like I have two follow up categories. One is before I've actually tried to consult with them. One is after we've spoken, and it wasn't a no, but it's not a yes yet. So having that flow, like once I started that, oh, you hear the harp? Yeah. So once I started that, I got a lot better response because people quit falling through the cracks. That's the biggest thing with not having a CRM. Yeah. Even as a guy that I'm just going to consult a few people because I'm kind of expensive. I would have people, like I would see someone's card or I'd see their profile and I would say, I remember them from 6 months ago. What was that about? And I would go like look in Gmail, or I would look at our messaging and I was like, oh my goodness, I was supposed to follow up with them and they could, like, we could be working together right now. So just having any form of a CRM is helpful.
Right. So based on what you said about, and I clearly need to be using some kind of CRM, whether it's NetHunt or Catherine mentioned ActiveCampaign, which tell me more about it because I don't know anything about it. So Catherine, if you know, please share. Again, I'm open to learning. A lot of people have also mentioned HubSpot to me, so I was looking into that. I haven't had time to just figure out the ins and outs of these programs to see which one would best suit my needs. But I guess my biggest question with using a CRM is, are you then still, are you emailing people actively from those CRMs, or are you still emailing from Gmail or from MailChimp or from whatever your email marketing platform is?
Yep. So you can email from NetHunt in most CRMs. You can like have templates, and which is really good, helpful, because if you just have a template and it's like going to fill in their name and a couple little details, but you've already spent like an hour perfecting that sales message,
Yeah.
then you're not having to do that every single time. So that's definitely handy. But for me, I think more in terms of mass and scale. So I would much rather put someone in like in you're using MailChimp. So I would rather put someone in a MailChimp campaign that has like 5 or 6 emails that are going to go out over a period of time, that walks someone from not knowing and not knowing what you do or how you can help them with whatever that one thing is, to then knowing and having responded. I don't know that most CRMs will do that, like the drip sequence kind of thing, like that I can start off an email now and then another one in 2 or 3 days or whatever. I don't think most CRMs do that very well.
But you don't actively like respond from Gmail anymore, let's say.
I totally respond from Gmail.
Okay. But then does
So
that integrate still back? Like, would your CRM keep track of that based on
yes,
that response? Okay.
yep, yeah, it'll show their email they sent to me and the email. And I think with NetHunt, it actually also has it as a link. I could just click and go right into Gmail, into that conversation that I'm having with
I
them.
mean, right now, I definitely have templates set up um, in Gmail as like things that I have figured out that work as like responses that I want to give to people, like when I'm ready to send them something. And that's separate from my MailChimp right now because that's automated messages that like they get every 2 days, every 3 days, whatever that looks like. I staggered the times in between the messages so that I'm not like spammy, because I hate when people like send me stuff and it's in my inbox every single day, maybe at the same time, maybe not. So, because then I'm less likely to read it the more that people just keep sending me new messages. If I'm not responding the first time, like, yeah, I might be getting value out of it, and I know I'm getting off track. But I try to stagger them so that I don't lose as many people the same way that I would remove myself from a mailing list if I got sent an email every day by the same person. Um, so but I do keep that separate from the MailChimp automations versus my templates of responses when I'm having a conversation with somebody. If I'm having that same similar conversation over again with different people, I have a template that tells me, like that way I can tweak it as needed, but it's already there. If I can do that even better using a CRM as like NetHunt, um, that way it's a better workflow.
Maybe. You may still be tempted, and justifiably so, to use Gmail and those templates. But the nice thing is that while you're looking at someone and you're looking at the email, there will be a little column so you can adjust, like going back to that Kanban, you can like flip them to the next step right from Gmail. You don't have to go to NetHunt
Right.
and manage them. So there is that automation. I wonder if there's not an Asana Gmail plugin that would facilitate CRM kind of stuff.
Instead of having to use a separate thing.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I haven't gotten. I'm going through learning all the different things in Asana right now as I like little by little before I fully commit to it because I'm like putting in my stuff, but I don't know all the ins and outs and all the little entities of it. I just haven't gotten through all the tutorials yet. I'm in the learning process. I'll let you know if I find something like that. I think there is one. I don't know because it's not something that I am full on doing yet.
So I pulled up Catherine's comment here. She's migrating from self-hosting. I'm wondering, Catherine, what did you used to use for your LMS? Because I've got LearnDash and I am working on my first course. to put into LearnDash, and I think Member Vault isn't that also? Whoops, isn't that also self-hosted? For some reason, I'm thinking it was. Oh yeah, nope, it's not. Well, there you go. Yep. So I was wrong about that. Yeah. So she's that's funny. She's using LearnDash now, and she's going to Member Vault. Okay. So it would, Catherine, I think it would probably be great if I could just be totally selfish and say, come on the show with us sometime, and let's talk about like how you're doing your sales funnel. Let's talk through LearnDash. I was actually very impressed with it. That's why I chose it. But if you've had some pain points with it, it'd be interesting to me to learn from it. Yep, I think there's some really good things there, but I definitely get it to the flip side is I'm very technical as a developer, all those kinds of things. So like using WordPress with LearnDash has been super simple for me, and I've written WordPress plugins. So if it's a technology hurdle, I can see why some people may not want to use WordPress and LearnDash and things like that. But if it's not a tech reason, if it's for other reasons, I would really love to know why and kind of talk some of that stuff through. That'd be great. Love the look and feel of LearnDash. Excellent LMS. Yeah, I really, really like it. I'm also connecting that with ThriveCard. Those are the two things that you have to have. Oh, here she comes. She said, but
Tell us the pain point.
yeah, hopefully it's not going to be like an encyclopedia entry of text full of all the problems that you've had. Yep. All right. So while she's typing up that, so Asana, I really like. I have an Asana too. It's got more bells and whistles on it than what's the other one?
Trello.
Yes, then Trello. Trello is like if you just want to get down and dirty, do something really quick, and all you want are Kanban columns and dragging cards.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's
not a Trello fan.
Yeah, but if you need a little bit more, then Trello like hits a hard road. The one thing too that I saw that people would use Trello for is like it's a Kanban, but they would use it for all these other kinds of crazy things, not a process flow of something being worked through. And it drove me nuts. I was like, it's like imagine setting up cards so that it's your calendar, and you've got 7 columns, and you've got the first, the second, the third, the fourth. I would see people do stuff like that, and I would think, oh my God, you do realize that they've got calendars, right?
Yeah, people set it up as like to plan their social media calendar, and a bunch of other things for their content. For me, I'm not a big fan of the boards. Like sometimes it's nice to look at it, and for certain things in Asana, I do use the board view. But no, I like the calendar view in Asana, and I also like being able to see the list view. It's like you check that little to do off and then see it grayed out. Yeah, as long as I can connect everything to my Gmail, then calendar view is usually the way that I go. We can talk another time.
Yep. So
yeah, sure.
Catherine,
we're beyond third degree connections, so I always ask for people.
Oh, really?
To, I mean, that's the only time that people have been asked to put in my email address to connect with me.
Oh, that's kind of weird because Catherine, aren't we connected? Which would make you guys second to each other.
Let me try connecting with you right now. Hold on.
Yeah, so Catherine and I are firsties.
Oh, so then we would be, that's even weirder. Okay. I'll change my privacy settings going forward because I know other people have that issue, but.
Oh yeah, that's another one too. So I intentionally have hid.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I have intentionally hid the connect button, and instead I have follow on mine. I probably need to do a short video someday and show like how to do that. And I was looking the other day, I have over 1,000 people that are just followers. I'm not exactly sure how it happened, to tell you the truth. I know how I got all the people I'm connected to, but I don't know how I got 1,000 people just to follow without being connected to them.
Well, you got your connections because everybody kept wishing you happy birthday, right?
Oh no, so the happy birthday thing. Let's talk about that through. The happy birthday thing, what you already have to be connected. You already have to be firsties. So I've got 2,400, or excuse me, 24,000
Yeah.
connections. And if you're already connected, then they would get a notification, hey, it's Richard's birthday. And then, so what Shell's referring to is 2 years ago, or 2 birthdays ago, probably a year and a half ago, I got totally slammed. It was over 1,000. I needed to do a count and see how many I had this time. But it actually clogged up. So I'm really big on my inbox. I message people. I stay up on my inbox. When I was sick for the past couple of weeks, I felt really bad because I had messages stacking up. I cleared through them this week, so I feel really good about that. But anyway, I try to stay very communicative, and having like 1,000 happy birthdays in there drove me nuts, and it was so hard to like work through them all because I feel like I want to respond. And so
Do
this
you not
last year,
respond to the happy birthdays anymore?
yeah. So actually, what I did this last year, I'm going to use this as a strategy. I may start having a birthday every other month. It's because last
Go to your funnel.
yeah, this last year, on my birthday, I made a video saying, hey, it's my birthday, but I'm going to give you guys something. And I set up the 10 tips, 10 days, and like had a download PDF, all this kind of stuff. And so when people wish me a happy birthday, I just copied and pasted back to them, hey, here's my gift back to you. And then I got a lot of people that followed up on that, and they said, wow, that's great, or whatever. So I still had some of that, but I was leveraging the eyes on me to see how many I could capture into my flow. By the way, that most of them are not going to be my ideal audience or my ideal customer. So anyway, I'm not really sure how fruitful that was. In the end, back to another point that we've had private conversation offline about, and that is measuring. So I didn't measure how many of those people actually made it into my funnel, which would have been a good thing to capture.
Right. That's another thing that I think I struggle with, and maybe someone else shares these pain points too, is figuring out the right way to track these metrics. Like I don't always know what I'm supposed to be looking at or what the numbers mean, um, or how to even then keep track of them beyond just like the tracking that's being shown to me in like MailChimp or it, in my Squarespace marketing platform or the outreach and all those things. Like, what am I supposed to be doing with that? Like, how do I know how to tweak it if I don't know what any of that means?
Yeah. So I think each interaction needs tracking, and you need to have one place where you can consolidate them, or at least where it's okay if you treat them separately.
Yeah.
For email, obviously, there are two main things that I think are very important for emails. One is your open rate, and the other one is your click through. Your open rate tells you how much people are interested in you in general. So like how well are you feeding them, so to speak. And the click through is how interesting that one specific thing was for them. I'm going to open up my email and come over here. I think I can share that. Share screen.
By the way, can everybody else hear the harps in the background? Like, how beautiful does that sound? It's very soothing to me right now while you're pulling up the screen.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of backfiring on us because when I'm not speaking, the harp, I think my microphone sensitivity goes up until the harp kind of cuts you out a little bit. And I think your system is set up where when you're talking, you're either hearing or speaking, not both at the same time. The technology is done that way. So I think yours gets sensitive and it says, oh, there's noise from the other side, and it like drops your mic down.
Oh, okay.
So it may be working against us. We'll find out. All right, so I can share this. I don't know how well I can zoom in because you really can't see that well. Zoom in a little bit. Is that somewhat readable?
That is very readable.
Okay, so for those of you that, well, no, I'll just scroll up. I'm looking through my camera to the screen behind it so that for those of you that are watching, I love like the eye contact engagement. So literally my camera is sitting right in front of my screen so that I can see, like I'm seeing Shell when we're talking together. But anyway, so it's also now in the way for me to read my webpage. So I sent out, this was this morning, I sent out 520. Oh, you'll need to see the top part. It sent 520. I got an open rate of 36%. That's pretty good in 5 hours.
Yeah.
Very low click through. Hey, and I actually got 2 unsubscribes. Cool. So that means, oh, and I hadn't actually been paying attention to the unsubscribes, but I've been getting them trickle out for a while. And that's totally cool because people that unsubscribe, like you're wasting your time to continue to email.
Yeah.
But if you look, my open rates are always like
pretty high.
That insane. Yep. I don't email all the time. I don't know if that maybe I should or shouldn't, but I don't email all the time, and I only email when I actually have something that I think would be of value, which lately has been, hey, come join me with this live. I need to get off of that. I feel like I need a weekly email that will be some valid content that they'll find useful. Besides just these live invites, because there are a number of people that won't come to the lives, but they would interact with some other form of media.
Yeah. At some point, maybe we can also go live on LinkedIn as well, because I've had people ask me if they can join this group from LinkedIn and watch the lives because they're not on Facebook and don't want to be. So maybe at some point we can push it through to LinkedIn as well, but I don't know if there's a way to like keep it still a private thing where people have to request access to join.
Yep. So on the privacy of the group, they do have to request, but they're automatically approved if they have a Facebook account that's older than 2 years. That way you don't end up with people. Facebook did a little research and came up with this, that people that want to just spam, they'll set up a new account, they'll go spam everybody, and then Facebook shuts them down. So Facebook has realized if people have an account older than 2 years, they're typically not a spammer. So they're pretty safe to allow them to come in. And it keeps me from having to like go through and approve everybody. Yes, you can join, which I did in the beginning. It's kind of painful. Okay, oh, by the way, Ariane.
Yeah, that was to the heart music. I asked if people thought it was beautiful.
And please post a link for later viewing. So if you are watching this live right now, you have the link. Like this particular post will stay here and you'll be able to rewatch later. As a matter of fact, I can show you a little trick on Facebook that some people may not know about. Let me pull this off so that I can share it easily.
Yeah, and you can also pin this live to the top so that people can find it easier.
Very true. Is this one? Yep. I think this is the one I want. So,
hey, there we are.
Yeah. Now I've got to go find that. Okay, here we go. So anytime you want the link to something, you can just hover over the timestamp on any, it doesn't matter what it is. You just hover on Facebook. Let me be clear. You can just hover over the timestamp. You can right click and you can copy that link. And that's the direct link, which by the way, is what I actually have pasted up in the very top. If you do that, then you can bookmark it or whatever your mechanism is for saving links to be able to come back. And since we don't delete this, it will still be here for you to watch for years to come.
Yeah, and also you can save it if you click on those 3 dots at the top of that post. It has a save option.
Yep, save video. Cool. Okay, so let's say I do that. Where does it show up?
I believe on your home screen you have an area where you have saved videos.
So if I just go back
Might
there,
not, it might also be, yeah. Um, in the saved, right underneath Explore on the left.
oh yeah, cool.
And you can also create categories for yourself in order to separate them. Like
Got
I
it.
have ones that I save that are like Shell Lives. Or I have ones that are I save a lot of tasty videos because I like watching cooking things to learn how to make food. So I save a lot of BuzzFeed tasty kind of things. So I have a food one so I've separated them into categories. It
So
works in the app for sure.
yeah. Which, by the way, you are showing up as Facebook user. If you want your name and your photo, beautiful photo displayed, you'll just need to go scroll up above the video. You'll have to come out of the full screen part of the video, go and scroll up. There's a link at the bottom that goes like facebook.com/StreamYard or something like that, and just accept that app. And then whenever you post comments, it will know who you are, and it will be able to display your info just like this for everyone else. Oh, Catherine says it's Nicole. Hey, Nicole, what up?
Thanks for clarifying that because we can't see the comments from the Facebook side. They just show up as Facebook user on our end.
Awesome. So I think Nicole was another one that which I invite everybody, but some people stick out in my mind that I think, hey, it would be really cool to have this person come on. But Nicole, even if you have webcam, you want to join us right now, the link. How can I work my finger? The link is right there at the very bottom of the video.
I don't know. It's not on my screen.
Yeah, well, I would have to do my finger at one. You do your finger. rpurls.com/live-guest, and you just turn your webcam on, have a good enough internet connection, and we would love to have you.
Yeah. Wish I had better lighting right now. I look so blue and sickly, but I can't.
No, it just looks like you're lit from your window.
I'm lit from the window, but there's also a light above. I just don't have any like other lighting that I can control right now.
I don't have my ring light on. I need to mail it to you. This is what my ring light looks like. Look at that. I love this one because it has a remote, and I can like adjust the brightness. I can adjust the color.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of figured out like a fake setup, if you will, when I'm in my apartment at home. But here
oh yeah, you're not at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even have a ring light. I don't have like any kind of special setup. I've rigged it a little bit. I took a lamp, then positioned it exactly where it needed to be, and it works. And the lighting is better. And then during the daytime, during light hours, I get really good natural light in a way that just is way better than this. But yeah, today's a little bit experimental because I didn't have a bunch of time to play around with this, and other rooms in the house were too echoey. And plus everybody else is taking a nap right now, so I didn't want to be too distracting. Yeah, we're a family of nappers.
So I'm wondering, going back, let's see, what are the things that we touched on but didn't fully go in depth? We were talking about leads.
We talked about sales funnels fully.
Sales funnels. Yep, that's a good one.
We've talked about productivity. We talked about the marketing, getting a CRM.
All right, so I'm going to shell. I'm looking at
shelled. I love it.
Yeah, I just got shelled completely. The Miro that I saved to you. I'm going to show one particular. Oh, that's painful. It's so hard when I go to share something. Like I have to swim through a million things to find it. Here we go. So I'm just going to show this very, very basic and simple funnel. And oh, cool! You will see my mouse on the screen. Awesome.
Yay.
Okay, so this is part of the like creating a system of getting consistent leads all the time, how to do that, and like set that up as a flow. And then, Shell, we need to go back and talk about your sales pitch or the phone call and what to do. That's the thing that like stuck out in my mind that I knew we needed to get back to. So that's more like the discovery call part. But here's a very, very basic funnel. And for those of you, like they can get more and more complicated. I won't go through all these complications in this one. I love to start out with something that's just at the edge of where you can wrap your mind around it. But like those other ones kind of get scary because like I've had some clients or I'm in a presentation with them. I'm saying, this is what we can build. And I'll show them one of the other ones. And they're like, whoa, that's way too much. Like, and they don't want to work with me. They think it's too complicated. I think this is simple enough that it makes sense. And you can build each piece one piece at a time. So let's take this left column is, in this case, LinkedIn users. And these are the sources of where all of your leads would come from. So you have people that are not connected to you; they're unconnected. They're watching your content. They're probably second to you, and they're seeing your content because someone that's first to them and first to you has liked and or commented, and they're seeing that notification, and they see your content as a result.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having videos because videos are more engaging and people seem to like them better, et cetera, et cetera. So having a video series will draw these people and then they will come in and you can hook them into a live Q&A. So this is kind of similar to what we're actually doing right now. This is a live stream. We're answering people's questions. We're going to do this once a week, every Saturday. So it's easy to invite people to the next live stream and say, come bring your questions, like whatever. And it's a soft sell because imagine, you don't want to make posts all the time that are like, let's get on a call. Let's get on a call. Let's get on a call. Like everyone will begin to just ignore your stuff. But if you say something like, I've got this weekly Q&A and this is the kind of stuff we talk about, people that is your ideal customer will say, that's exactly what I want to come and learn more about. So they will come to your live Q&A, in this case, like join the Facebook group, etc. Let's just follow that path all the way through. In that, we demonstrate, you demonstrate your skillfulness in that particular area, and you just let people know, hey, I'm here. If this is something that's interesting to you, this is something you need help or work on, or you want to talk about this further, let's go do a discovery call. Let's find out how I can help. And then from there, a certain percentage, not all of them, but a certain percentage will convert to being clients.
Do you break it down even more once you're in the discovery call to get them, to give them different options, like a product suite, or are you only offering, or at least with this funnel, is there only one end product, one service?
It could be multiple, because this is vague enough, like that it could be multiple. It could even be that you have a sales team that takes on the discovery call. So this is just a very generic funnel flow linked directly to the key components. This are pulling people from LinkedIn and doing posts. I recommend videos, don't have to, and having a live. Or having you could replace that live with, like, I'm going to do this case study with Keith, for example. So I could replace that live with case study, which goes to a discovery call, which goes to being a client.
Yeah. I mean, could I replace the live with, like, say, the survey that I have out right now, which then leads them to the discovery call?
You could. The only thing is, I would change survey to what's the other one? There's a much better format than survey. Self-assessment to an assessment. The reason why is when I hear survey, I think, what's the value I want to get out of that? And then people will say, like, to enter a drawing for this grand, trip to wherever, and I'm like, I didn't even want to go there, but thanks. So I'm not taking that as a survey. But if I took an assessment which gave me results and said, a personality assessment, for example, Richard, we will help you find the ideal job or vocation for you according to your personality. Take this assessment, and then we'll even show you steps on where you can apply, how you can beef up your skills, like whatever, to then go get a job. Well, now I'm going to get something very valuable out of it. On the other end of that assessment, I'm getting the value. That's this live Q&A piece. The discovery call then is, hey, at the end of the assessment, would you like to talk to one of our coaches that can help you, like whatever, and then boom, become a client. So whereas if I take a survey that's giving you information, but it may not give me any.
Right. Well, right now, the survey that is out there, which so far has been getting, I feel like it's getting people into my funnel. It's just a matter of, I don't know where that funnel leads to all the different like fingers that spread out. I mean, they can get value out of the survey because what I give them in return is a mini LinkedIn review. So they would automatically get the value out of it or see that I'm giving more in return as a thank you for taking the survey. So it's not a waste of their time. And then they also get my free guide because it automatically leads them into my newsletter. So they get the free value that way, where like I just don't know if I'm going about it in the right way.
Yep. So what I'm hearing is you have people coming in to take an assessment and survey. And then from there, the value is I will review your LinkedIn profile and give you strategies or things that you need to change, correct?
Yeah, I give them the top 3 to 5 things that I see right off the bat that I think that they can tweak in under 10 minutes. I haven't in under 10 minutes to help increase their engagement.
Okay. So in the invitation to that, do you say, come take this assessment and get this value?
When I post about it, yes.
Okay.
Well, if they're actually clicking on the link to get there, no.
Okay. So when you post about it, what I would do is I would always lead with value. I'd say, hey, I am doing free profile reviews to help graduates or near graduates, get beef up their LinkedIn profile to get the next job, to get their job right out of school.
Yeah.
If you would like for me to do one of these reviews, click here. I would just lead with the value, and that's the only thing that they're thinking about. When they click the link, I wouldn't say, hey, take this assessment. I would say instead, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. Fill in this form that tells me about you and your goals, where you're going. And so that when I look at your profile, like I get the context of what's going on, and I make sure that what you told me on the form that you're trying to achieve is actually what your profile communicates. Then they don't see this as an assessment or a survey. They see it as part of the process of them getting the value. Like, for example, if you just said, hey, I will do a free review, click this link and fill in your email address, they would view fill in your email address as just part of the process to get that value. And then they fill in their email address and you give them the value. But you're just asking for more than an email address. You're asking for these details.
Yeah, I'm going to you brought up a good thing that actually leads to another question of mine, which is all these things are what I have been struggling with because they all kind of play off of each other. And so this will take us away from the funnel right in front of us right now, but on my website specifically. I'm not going to say who mentioned it to me, but it's somebody that we both know and have talked privately about with other things. But somebody came to me the other day and told me that my website looked too pretty to possibly offer something like a LinkedIn review as my service. and I guess that's because I don't really like, I go from pretty, here are the pain points, here's what I'm going to solve, and then I don't really, how can I incorporate talking about, this is what I like, one of the services that I offer, because obviously it won't just be the LinkedIn reviews. How do I integrate that in what I'm giving them to draw them in without actually saying like it's all about the LinkedIn review, because it's not all about the LinkedIn review. That's just one little thing. So I guess I didn't warm them up enough in order to lead them to having a LinkedIn review. All she saw was, hey, it just looks like you're a designer and your site looks really beautiful, but this doesn't look like what you would do. So I think I'm like mixing my message a little bit, and maybe that was just her perspective because she was trying to get me into her sales funnel. But it like triggered something in my mind of like, do I need to tweak that then to like have LinkedIn information show up somewhere before people go to engage with me? And I think the answer is yes. I just don't know the right way to do it. So it's still part of the sales funnel thing, I guess, just in a different view of like visually looking at it. How, like, where would you go? Where, guys that are watching this, take a look at my site. Like, what do you think I should do? I'm open to feedback of like, how do I get better engagement and have people know what I'm trying to do here?
Okay, so
If that, I know that was very, there was a
but I
lot
think
there.
I can peel it apart. Okay, so I think you have to view two different. You need a view of two different pages. So the first one is your home page. I think you're getting jittery again. The first one is your homepage. So your homepage should have about you. It should have, and then it should have a sense of the things that you work in, if not direct links to learn more about how I can help you on LinkedIn, learn more about like whatever, like graphic design, because I know that you do graphic design, but I don't know if that's what you want to do. But anyway, like whatever those things are, you can definitely call them out. When you're sending someone for a LinkedIn profile, I wouldn't send them to your homepage. This is where the second page is, and that would just be almost, it should look like a sales page practically that's selling someone to have their LinkedIn profile reviewed. And you may think, well, that's kind of over the top. Why would I go through the trouble of making a sales page when I'm not selling them anything? Actually, I'm having to give away my time. But the thing is, if that's part of your funnel, back to this, if that's, in this case, they may not, well, the LinkedIn, the live Q&A, actually, this would be like your review would be here. So you want to sell them on that because you really want to get them to the discovery call. You really want to take them into the next steps. So I would practically have that as a sales page and have it separate from your homepage.
Okay. I'm taking notes.
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions while we're here? Been a little bit quiet for a while, so I don't know how many viewers we've still got.
Catherine had to jet.
Yeah, that was a while ago, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
13 minutes ago.
I appreciate her being here, though.
Yep. And we still have
Nicole, are you still here? Ariadne, are you still here?
We still have at least one. And the other thing that I found too with these lives is people will come back and watch them. I think like part of our exercise, you were going to go through and like get timing markers out of it.
Okay,
I think that yeah. You're going to go pull timing markers out. I think us coming back and putting that, like I can edit the description and just put those timing markers. It will help people find the content that they're looking for.
Okay. Yeah, I think you had done that previously with some of the other lives, where you did that after the fact and like at 2:03, we talk about this. So yeah, we can definitely go in and do that afterwards.
All right. Let me go back to. That's really weird. Like, oh, I know why. I'm trying to share the screen again, but it's still shared, and the only option it was showing me is to remove it. But I was looking in the wrong place. I want to go back through this really quickly, and then
Yeah.
the real thing I want to help you with before we get off today is to talk about your closing call or the discovery call. So just to go back for those that are watching and want to see this in completion. So we have these other 3 types of people. This is all about getting leads on LinkedIn. And they all come into that same exact funnel. So having an automated, actually, I probably need to rearrange these. I would start with existing connections. Because once you go through all your existing connections, then you don't have to worry, have I invited this person before or not? And you probably don't want to go through all of your existing connections, but the ones that match your search criteria that you think would be ideal customers. After that, you start automating or VA or whatever, because it's way too many for you to try to do it on a daily basis. Connection request and invite people into, in this case, a live Q&A. In your case, it will be to have their profile reviewed. And then people that connect with you, same thing. Hey, thanks for connecting. I perform this service. I do free profile reviews. Let me know if you'd be interested. I'll be happy to, hook you up or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And so it's low sales. It doesn't have a link in it. It's not 5 paragraphs. It's just 2 sentences. And if they respond back favorably, then you send them the link and away they go into the funnel. So then once you have any one of these in place, and you're getting some traffic in here, then you can just start focusing on improving all of this before you have to think about adding another source. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. So if you already have at least one source that's bringing people to you know what? Let's just edit it.
I mean, at some point, the live Q&As will be added, but like, let's start with. But yes, the biggest one right now is doing the mini reviews. And I say I'm only kidding.
Here we go.
Do the videos keep glitching on your end? Because I keep seeing both of us bounce in and out.
Yeah, you Shell just completely dropped. Yeah, actually, I see you drop out completely.
Okay, because that keeps happening with you as well.
Okay. My internet still seems like it's rock solid. Maybe wrong. The thing I wanted to do. Let me line this up because you have another piece. You have the review, and then are you still there, or is it really just?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, that's totally not what I wanted. Here we go. It takes me a minute, but eventually I get there. I am so picky. Sorry. That's a little trick to
You want
always.
to make sure everything's lined up.
Yeah, that's a little trick I use to keep things lined up. All right, so review, and then you have discovery call, and then from there they become a client or they don't. So it's
okay. So now, why did you distinguish the mini review and the full review, or are you still thinking that the one in red is me getting them into the funnel?
Yeah, so this is mini or whatever, and this is you delivering that. This is the sales page that says, "Hey, would you like for me to do a review for you?" Even if it's a mini review, I don't know that I would call it a mini review, because I would just say, "Hey, would you like for me to review your profile?" And then you may only tell them 5 things, but you would say, "Now, this is my first 10 to 15-minute look at this. If we go in depth, here are all the other things that I'm going to bring. Like, here are all the other values that you're not getting that I will give you." And so that sale, but you tell them that at this point at the review. So this point is, hey, I'll do a 15-minute review of your profile, or 10-minute, like whatever. And you deliver that high value here, the problems that I see and the things that you should go correct. Then you deliver that to them, and then they get an invite to, would you like to talk about more, or just paying straight for a review. It may not be a discovery call. It may just be, would you like for me to pay? Would you like to pay for me doing, the full rewrite of your profile? Depending on your price point, you may need to deliver that via discovery call. It obviously, like if I'm going to pay $5,000, I'm not going to do that because I got an email with a review and with a link to a PayPal form or something. So that would definitely take a call. Whereas if you're going to charge me $50, which I know you're not, but if it was $50, no sense in getting on the phone. I would just say, if you'd like to upgrade to a full review, here's the link, $50, and then I wouldn't get on the phone with them.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. So now,
I'm getting. I don't know if this is helping you guys watching, but it's definitely helping me.
Good. So the discovery call part. This was the part that we were going to talk through, because you had mentioned that you'll have people that are highly excited, interested, whatever. They come on, ready to go, and then they fall through for whatever reason.
Yeah. And I would say that's just me warming them up. We haven't even gotten to an official discovery call. That's just me chatting with them consistently back and forth, and then them showing excitement in person, on the phone. Like, can I consider that my discovery call? Yeah, but not really, because at least I just haven't. Maybe that's my mistake. But most of these conversations are when I'm just warming them up to try to get them on the phone, and then we don't even get there, or they schedule them and then they cancel them. So me actually even having a discovery call, that hasn't happened because the excitement just never converts.
Okay. So if someone, yep. So I think having really clear steps that you take people through, if they show excitement, here's what we do. And having those be the same all the time are very important. Because then you get into a routine that you're in control of from start to finish.
Yeah.
So if they show excitement, I would just say, hey, let's book a time and we'll talk through it. If they say no, or they don't respond, it's like, okay, like I'm good to move on, because you're not fitting into my funnel. So,
and then the question becomes, am I wasting too much time on people that are never going to convert if it's a false sense of excitement?
Yes, definitely. But because you dictate, this is how my business works, and this is the exact process I go about getting clients, and until you have it working well. Otherwise, once you have this working well, you can begin to try other things or deviate. But you really, in the very beginning, you really need to control. This is the only thing that I'm focusing on to get working, is this exact thing. So if they say, are these people that have already gotten a profile review or they didn't get a review yet?
It's both. It goes for people that have gotten a review, and it's people that I've met at events that, like, literally the other night I was at an event, and this is the first time that this ever happened to me, where it was like a very exciting moment, or at the end of the event, and I was not part of the event, I was a guest. Um, People were lined up waiting to talk to me. I I had a crowd of people around me waiting to get more info about how they could work with me. And that excitement, which excited me because I've never had people lined up waiting to speak to me like that. Um, yes, it was only a few days ago. Where's that excitement? Like, where were those action takers that none of them took action, or like none of them have followed me after I reached out to them again? So that, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, is like whether I've done the review, it's not converting to get to that next step, and also I don't have that much excitement. Yeah, people have lives, but I have a life too, so you can't use that as an excuse all the time of like, oh, I'm sorry, I got busy. Busy is bullshit. We've talked about this before. Like, for me, I expect people to show up the way they say they're going to. So unless you're just like blowing smoke up my butt and like having this false sense of excitement, like, but you can't fake that in excitement in an event. You were there waiting for me, not the other way around. So that was genuine. And now what? Like, crickets. So how excited were people?
Yep. So maybe a better thing to do. Since I'm not there, I don't see what's going on. I don't want to cast a lot of doubt, but because I want to say this, but I want to move on to something different. But I'm the guy that considers all the possibilities. One possibility is they were very excited, but something went wrong in your conversation with them, and they thought, okay, Shell's not for me. Like, I don't know, like whatever their expectation was that got them excited,
Yeah.
you didn't follow through with. And I'm not saying, like, I have no idea, but I'm the guy. If it's me, I'm trying to think of all the possibilities of what could be going on.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about them too. So
So the other one is a strategy. So I love what you said, that you said, I followed up with them. I got there. So that means either you got a business card or whatever, you got phone numbers, you got contact details, and you went after them. That's good. Perfect. My concern is that with sometimes people are excited about something and then it falls off really quick because it's not the most pressing thing that they need, but they know they need it, but they don't need it now. But because they're at the event, they see you, they're excited to talk about it right now. So they may come through in the future. One thing you could definitely do is, with that long line, say, hey, let's book a time right now. Like, and book a time to go into a discovery call. And you could tell people, hey, I do one of two ways. We could either go straight into a discovery call where we're going to talk about how we could work together for me to rewrite your profile and help you go crush it on your job search. Or if you'd like a short mini review, here's how you can go get that. We can start with that. Like, but again, that kind of, it like forces people into one of two. It makes you be the one that's in control.
Right then. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I mean, I'm always going to events, so that's a good way to approach it.
Yep. Another way to do it, and so I'm the long-term thinker. So I love building a container that people will come into. So an email list, a group, a whatever. So if they are showing interest, then maybe even having a business card, but the thing that's on there is the group, or like whatever that container method is that you use, and you hand it to them and say, hey, I've got a group where this is exactly the thing we talk about all the time. I'd love for you to join and ask your questions there, and I'll be giving you help. And then you've got them in the container so that it kind of goes back to that, like, I'm excited to talk to you right now, but I'm not ready to commit. I'm like, that's a problem for 3 months from now when I'm graduating, as an example.
Yeah. And
Then
then that also keeps them warm.
yes. And yeah, it keeps them warm where you're the one in their mind instead of 3 months from now, like they shirk you off this week because they're really thinking in 3 months, this is what I need. And in 3 months, they forgot you. Not only does it keep the service they need warm in their mind, like, man, I really need to do that, but it keeps you
Yeah.
personally warm. So that, again, I love containers. The other thing that containers are great for is, imagine if someone walked up to you. I think this would be a mistake. Someone walks up to you and, like, let me rewind a little bit. So that whole, like, I have two options for you. You can either get a mini review or we could do a discovery call. That's like skipping forward in your funnel. So, like, instead of them getting a message, like, only coming through, like, through that LinkedIn side, you're actually fast forwarding and putting them right in. Potentially, if they say yes, let's get on the phone, you've put them right at the very end of your funnel. I think a mistake would be, I think that's correct. I think the mistake would be trying to shorten it even more and saying, hey, we can get started right now for $500. Like, that then it turns into that binary, like, yes or no. And if you say yes, great, we've got a relationship. And if you say later, later also means no, and we don't have a relationship. And
Yeah.
that's why I
where somebody
love
else lost
containers.
me the other day.
Say again.
Yeah, that's right exactly where somebody else lost me the other day. They were like, all right, so if you want to get started right now, you can do the full payment plan of like $500, but understand that that's for minimum of 3 months. So it'll be $1,500 total. Like, are you ready to go ahead? And I'm like, I need to think about this, because obviously the answer was no. But like, I'm not good at just saying no and being firm about it. Like, I don't want to let you down easy. Um, and I get that that's how other people are going to be too. Like, they kind of don't want to just say no and be rude about it. But I mean, they lost me in that sale by like almost forcing me to commit right then, knowing that I wasn't ready.
Yep.
Also, I wasn't sold by what they were trying to sell me, so that was another issue. And sometimes the price doesn't scare me off. Like, if it's something that I feel like I really need, like, I'm gonna pay for the value because it's gonna save me time and energy and like help me out down the road. But if I don't like what you're selling, and then the price scares me off and like your terms, um, that's the fastest way to lose me. And then spam me a million times with the email on top of that.
Right. Yep. That they're trying to do scale, which I get, but they're losing it on the personal touch. Personal touch you can't scale, so you have to have the person really ready. So in that case, I think it would be better, instead of inviting you to a discovery call for a yes or no, or a sales pitch call, or like whatever you'd want to label that. I
Yeah.
would instead send out to my list, hey, here are some videos, of some other things that may help you. And people that go to those videos then make an offer. Hey, if this sounds like something that you need more information about or whatever, I'm thinking about putting together a group where this is what we're going to go do. Like, let's get on the phone. Then you're completely warmed up to it. And people, like, obviously you weren't that warm to it. You wouldn't have opted in after, for the discovery call.
Yeah.
So actually what this person has done to you is basically burnt a relationship. And that's what binary yeses and nos do. Like, you're either buying or not. And if they say no, like, the relationship's over. So like prepping people before that point so that they know, and if doing it gracefully enough that if they say no, if they're in your group, they stay in your group. Like, I think that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. The one thing that I've been seeing a lot on LinkedIn, in people's posts on Instagram, and even just people reaching out to me to be in their sales funnels, is the idea of staying in your zone of genius in order to scale better. And I think that's really important. And that's why I'm really great at design, but I don't want to do it. It's not what makes me like, I'm not passionate about it. Like, yeah, I can integrate it a little bit if I incorporate like branding packages along with LinkedIn reviews for the business side. Um, but I'll limit that when the time comes for me to think about that kind of offer more seriously. Um, but when people tell me to stay in my zone of genius and then they tell me that I should really be focusing on branding, I know that they're not paying attention to who I am because that's not my zone of genius. Like, again, I'm good at it, but it's not, that's just for me. That's not for everybody. So when those same people, again, this isn't just one person, when those same people um, tell me to stick with that, but then they tell me to also be open to customizing packages for individual people, how can you're going to scale better if you're always in your zone of genius.
Right.
You're not going to scale if you're customizing your package for every single client or potential client. And if you're offering every single client something different, that's like you're gonna burn yourself out that way. You're gonna overwork yourself having to tweak every single package and what you're offering. And so I was getting a very mixed message from a lot of people saying to stay with my zone of genius, but also customize, because how can you do like I'm sure there's a way that you could do both, but that seems like they're conflicting ideas.
Absolutely.
So while I'm trying to figure out how to scale within my zone of genius, which is productivity and burnout prevention, that's primarily where the LinkedIn reviews comes in. It's because if I can get people to find their passions sooner and tweak their profiles more effectively so that they're headed in the right direction and not selling themselves for skills that they are good at but don't necessarily like or want to do going forward, then I've set them up to better themselves going forward and grow themselves and scale their careers or within their careers. Um, that's a lesson that I've had to learn too, because even if within the skills section on LinkedIn, um, my microphone is making weird noises on my end. Um, Even within the skills section on LinkedIn, I tell people all the time, or I ask them, are these the most relevant skills that you have listed right now? Because people will put skills there that were relevant 10 years ago, or they just don't update it. People are going to look at this. Especially when people endorse your skills, if they're not relevant, then people are going to endorse the wrong things. You're going to come up in an algorithm where you don't want to be because you have skills listed that are not relevant to you anymore, who you are and where you want to go. So that's one of the first things that I always tell people to update. Look at what you have listed. Is this who you are right now? Because most of the time it's outdated. It's not important anymore. And it's one of the easiest things that people can tweak to like increase their engagement and change their exposure and making better connections.
It sounds like I may need to get you to go through mine. Not so much on LinkedIn, but I think I used something, I think it was Career Builder 15 plus years ago. And I still to this day get emails of people that are like wanting to hire me for whatever skill it was from like 15 years ago. And what's really sad is I know the recruiters that are sending this stuff out, these are people that just do it by the numbers. Like they'll go scrape a website and get 50,000 email addresses that all have one particular skill, and then they'll just blast an email to them. So it's total spam. But I probably need to do the same thing for LinkedIn. So what's your advice there? I've got, how can I communicate to people that I have a very strong technology background, um, and that I'm very much like the corporate America business guy that can help you with your small business? Do I need to get rid of all those other parts of my profile, like hide other jobs or get rid of them, delete
Yep.
off all those skills? What should I really be doing there?
Are you talking about just the skills and endorsements area, or are you talking about like everything?
Company history, everything.
I generally have been telling people to look, I don't have that many jobs in my job history because I worked with one company primarily for my entire career. But there were jobs that I had in college. There were other things that I was doing that don't relate to anything that I want to be doing. So yeah, I did take out some of the ones that weren't as important, that didn't help me like reverse engineer my profile. My entire profile on LinkedIn needs to like kind of connect the dots from one to the other, like a roadmap, but in reverse, because it's in reverse chronological order from now to your past. If I can't find a way to connect every little bullet point to something else that like serves as like, here's how I got from here and I learned this and it took me like kind of be able to piece the pieces together, I took it out of my own profile. I take things out all the time. So yeah, maybe we go through and see if things don't help portray you in that way, that you can help people build their brands and their businesses and scale with tech and with all the other marketing and stuff that you can really bring right now. I haven't looked at your profile that thoroughly, so I don't know. I'd be open to taking a look at it if you want me to. But for sure, I'm almost positive there's probably at least like a few skills listed there that you don't need to have there anymore.
Yeah, please.
Typography, I took out of my own. Like, why do people need to know that I'm good at typography? It's not relevant. So, told
Yeah,
somebody to
go.
take out sewing. They wanted to be a banker. Like, that, how does sewing help you with banking? It doesn't. So, those are the types of that's a big leap. I'm sure we could find a way to connect it if it did connect, but is there some kind of sewing banker? I don't know. I don't want to get off topic, but like those are the types of things that I think about when I'm going through somebody's profile.
Yeah, so that would be good if you wanted to go through mine and give me feedback. We are coming up 2 minutes away from 2 hours.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I answered all the stuff that you brought. My biggest concern is I think we covered one aspect of it, and that is people that show up and they're really hot and ready to go, but then they kind of ghost. I think we kind of covered that. Do you also have people that they get a discovery call, but you're struggling to close them?
Like I said, I haven't even gotten to that point
Okay.
because the discovery calls that have been booked for whatever reason or another, and it's not like there have been so many, for whatever reason, those people have all asked to reschedule them. Something came up, they need to change it, and then they didn't book back in. Most of those people, I mean, I trust people until they give me a reason not to. But that's if that was just like a line to they didn't really want it anymore, that's fine. Just be honest with me. Some people can't do that. So like I get it if that they're not going to come back. And did Ariadne, I don't, what was that in response to?
I'm not really sure.
That just came in now, right? So
Yes.
Ariadne, what was that in response to? Just remind us because we've talked about a lot of things. If you want me to go through your LinkedIn profile, I'm happy to do that as well, but I don't know that that's what you're commenting on.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like people have the few that have booked in for a discovery call with me have canceled or asked to reschedule.
Okay. So another thought that I have there is, what would it look like if you created a video series, 2 to 4 hours long, of here's how you rewrite your profile and PDF checklist, etc. And after you do the short profile, you give that to them as an offer.
As a paid offer
Oh
or
yeah.
as more free value?
Oh yeah, paid. So 97 to 197.
Well, the 197 is what the full review is, or 195. So I would go on the lower end if I'm gonna not walk through it with them directly.
Yep.
I mean, that could work.
The thing that makes me think that is people that people are really finicky. When they're hot, they're hot. And a lot of times that's why people have upsells, by the way. So,
Yeah.
come here and buy this downloadable PDF, $7, and then immediately they will show, here's a $97 thing. Oh, but if you act now, you can also add this other thing that's for $200. And it's because once people are warmed up to take action, it's easier to get them to keep taking action. Whereas if there's a longer period of time, they start to come out. So if you
Like a
gave
fast
them the short, say again?
Like if I gave them a fast action bonus in the video.
Yes. Yep.
Got to get more comfortable doing these lives then, because I'm not comfortable doing videos. So
You've been doing a video for 2 hours.
yeah, I know, and I'm
You've been pretty comfortable.
still not comfortable with it.
Oh, wow. Okay. So evidently she's going to tell you something about your LinkedIn profile.
Or about hers. So whatever it is, Ariane, I look forward to it. I know it's super late there now, 2 hours later. So it is tomorrow in your world, and I don't want to keep you from going to sleep. Right? It was 10 o'clock, or was it 8 o'clock? I don't remember what time it was.
She is 7 hours ahead of me, so it is midnight.
Yeah. It's late. Why are you still up?
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, but yeah, I've definitely taken notes, so I will try out some of these things and work on my funnel a little bit more, and then hopefully next week people can come to us with more questions so that we can follow up on these things and also talk about some other good stuff.
Yep. So let's go ahead and sign off now.
Yeah.
And call it a wrap. I've really enjoyed it. It's been
Thank you so much for walking through all those steps with me, and hopefully everybody else will find these tips helpful. Check in with us, ask us comments, ask us questions in the comments. If you're watching it as a replay, just put that as like a hashtag replay so that we know where you're joining us from in the feed or afterwards. Looking forward to answering your questions. And
awesome.
Richard, looking forward to chatting again next week.
Yep. Same batty time, same batty channel.
Oh, batting, not bat. Okay. I'll be your Robin. Sure.
Oh, I see what she's saying. So, yes, she has told me some of her experience. I don't think she's I know she's not originally from Spain. So moving there, she's got experience to share there. So she'll be sending that to you, is what she's saying.
I look forward to it.
Awesome. Alrighty, see you guys again next week. Same time. It will be 4 Eastern, 3 Central, 10 Spain, whatever time zone that is.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you.
12 p.m. Pacific.
Yes.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. And I guess I'm going to sign off now because, oh, that's awesome. That's the great last comment to see. And on that note.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right. Take care. Bye, guys.